Is every offspring a slightly new species? How does this work? Well, I see what you mean, because the variation that exists in every population could be thought of as a tiny step towards a new species, but I think it's pretty misleading to put it that way, to say every offspring a slightly new species. When two populations spring off from one, when a population splits into two by some kind of random accident, some kind of separation, a geographical separation onto different islands, or separated on different sides of a river or a mountain range or something like that, then the ordinary variation that happens in every population is no longer tied to each other. These two populations are now free to move in different directions in evolutionary time. So one of them may become a bit darker, one of them may become a bit lighter, one of them may become a bit bigger, one became a bit smaller, or something of that sort. Every individual offspring is just similar to its parents. You wouldn't really notice that there's any evolutionary trend going on. But over a long period of time, the population on one island might become a little bit different from the population on the other island. And these are starting to diverge. These really are starting to move towards becoming a slightly new species. They only become a truly new species when they've become so far apart, when they diverge so far apart, that if they ever do meet, they can't interbreed. And that's the point when, by definition, we say they've become a new species. But you are right that there's a sort of continuum between just ordinary variation in different geographical regions and becoming a new species. But of all the different taxonomic categories, the species is rather unique in that it's the only one where we actually do have a proper objective criterion for saying, now it's happened, now a new species has been born. And the new species has been born at the moment when the new species, or the species on this island, is no longer capable of interbreeding with the species on that island. As for why they're no longer capable of interbreeding, well, that's because their genes become progressively more incompatible. Their chromosomes may become unable to work together to produce offspring of the next generation, something of that sort. Mules, as you know, are a hybrid between donkeys and horses, and a mule is a perfectly functioning organism, but the donkey chromosomes and the horse chromosomes are not capable of coming together to work together to produce the offspring of the next generation. So that the mule, although it's a perfectly functional organism, cannot produce offspring of its own.